Hello, this video is going to be a bit different than usual for my previous ones and more similar to this one. We don't talk about the unwanted child in the middle. Hey there, it's me, Cypher, and I'm currently under investigation from the police after setting fire to the local Joja mart. Stardew Valley is really good. So good in fact that no matter what your age is, you will enjoy the game. But the main question is, how did Stardew achieve this? A game for all ages, from infants to spooky, scary skeletons. If you play this game, you are most certainly guaranteed to have a good time. But how? How did it make this possible? Well, for that, we're gonna have to take a quick look into its roots. Now, if I ask you which game inspired Stardew, the most obvious answer would be Harvest Moon, right? But what if we change that question to, which games made people flock to Stardew? If you answered Harvest Moon, you'd be correct again. Half correct, that is. Farmville, a Facebook game, was very popular back in 2009. You're probably asking me, Cypher, what the fuck are you talking about? Shut up, Zoomer, and listen, jingle, jingle, jingle. Did I get your attention? Alright. Harvest Moon, or Story of Seasons as it is called now, was very popular with gamers back in the day. It was a game that people to this day still remember fondly because it was chill and was a very fun farming game. All things considered, this is just an oversimplification of Harvest Moon. So, if you've played similar games to Stardew, you most likely have heard of Harvest Moon, or you played Stardew because you've played Harvest Moon. Now, what about Farmville? Well, Farmville was the boomer game.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Which is ironic because Harvest Moon came out first. Its player base was mostly comprised of Facebook moms to your grandpa's ashes, and young Cypher was roped into playing that shit as well. It was fun. It was genuinely fun. It's up there with Dragon City, Cityville, and Happy Aquarium, games that you Zoomers probably don't know about. My parents were addicted to it. Hell, my entire family was addicted to it. But Farmville eventually fell into obscurity simply because the game felt monotonous after a while, and there was really no real goal and such, added by the fact that the wait time for crops to grow and buildings to finish was incredibly long, like a week long. Hell, even more than that. Paired with their incredibly predatory system that gives players the incentive to pay real money to speed up production value. Young me wasn't easily as susceptible to those systems, but the older folks who didn't really know any better, who only wanted to show off their farms to their friends and neighbors, well, they fell for it, and it was really sad to see. I did what I could to tell them that it wasn't worth it, but you know how it is when you're a kid. People don't really listen to you. So now that Farmville was gone, people still craved that itch, that feeling of working and reaping your hard work for profits in an enjoyable way. Then Stardew came along, and it swept up most of those players and introduced them to a world that was new yet familiar. It showed them a community of players that was not only comprised of the same individuals, but younger people as well. A lot of younger people were playing the game, and it was a sight to see. Or at least that's my headcanon. I'm still working on that Temenos X Roni fanfic. But the thing is, people around 40 or 70 has been seen playing this game simply because it's fun, relaxing, and very easy to get into. Stardew has a very broad audience, and it's something that a few games achieve. From the very casual and easygoing grandma to some guy who min-maxed everything and crashed the stock market for selling ancient fruit wine. People of different ages love this game, and whoever you are behind the screen, you are no exception. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about what makes the game fun. Let me tell you a story. I was a broke high school student back in the day, and I bought Stardew. I don't remember why I purchased Stardew or who recommended it to me, but a good friend told me that it was the happy me who recommended it to me, whatever that means. Now, I didn't have my own PC at that time, and the family PC at home couldn't play a single game except for Minesweeper, so I usually opted to play in net cafes. Once I played Stardew, I got severely addicted to it. I remember marrying Abigail and loving her dialogues, but over time I realized how expensive it was to keep playing this game in a net cafe, so I stopped playing. Time froze, and eventually I forgot it even existed in my Steam library. Fast forward to 4 years later, with a somewhat working PC, I decided to pick up the game again, and by then it was Stardew, and more. More things were added into the game, more secrets, more plants, more areas, and it was overwhelming at first. But once I got a few hours in, it felt like time flowed again. As if the time from 4 years ago never went away, and I was addicted a second time. The game just has that magic of focusing your attention like a monkey with neuron activation. Now I've got this much hours in. Jesus Christ. So Stardew's gameplay, or what made it appeal to its older audience, was about, well, farming. We all know that. But it has other avenues of gameplay as well that made it more refreshing to them, such as socializing, romance, special events, festivals, fighting monsters, fishing, cooking, quests, and the masculine urge to venture into the mines. All of this melts together pretty well and gives that just 5 more minutes syndrome. It sounds fun, right? But it's not enough fun. Single player, that is. This game has a co-op. Multiplayer in Stardew is one of the best ways to experience this game in its entirety. Whether you're farming together with a friend, or maybe he wants to show off his incredibly detailed and efficient farm, or maybe you just want to mess around and do this to the local MILFs. But it can also be one of the worst experiences you'll have playing this game. You see, Stardew has a very old issue that to this day still hasn't been fixed. The issue of randomly being unable to connect to a player regardless of your internet speed. A friend and I have been continuously booted out of the game and have made multiple unsuccessful attempts to connect to one another. Every time we disconnect, we have to start the day over again and again and again and again and again. The developers are aware of this issue and have even made a page on their website dedicated to solving said issue. I say developers, but really I'm only referring to one person. I know who you are, Eric. But I have tried every single thing listed on this page. I port forwarded, I turned off my firewall, I turned off the North Korean firewall, I hacked the Pentagon for their special service and even created a virus to infiltrate the Chinese spyware hoarding furry porn just so I could connect to Stardew. I even used multiple VPNs just to connect. If you were expecting a VPN sponsorship, you are wrong. The only promotion I'll be doing is my goddamn Patreon. I need the money to fuel my addiction to playing games and making YouTube videos like these, so support me. Because I really need to buy more games. And not to buy more black bread for the starving children in my basement. But yeah, that issue needs to be fixed somehow without having the need to have a server from fucking Mars. So, all in all, I rate Stardew a 9 prismatic shards out of uranium bar. Play it, it's worth your money, and if you get bored, you could always spice it up by going to Nexus mods. Don't tell anyone I said that. Even if you don't have any friends to play, go play it with your grandparents. They'll have quality time with their grandkids, and well, it's a win-win. Thank you so much for watching, my fellow farmhands, and Emily is best girl. Goodbye. Oh, right, I forgot. What is this? Why? How? Why are there dinosaurs in my game? What the f—
Yippee-yay, there'll be no wedding bells for today. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle,
Jingle jangle,
as I go riding merrily along.
jingle jangle.
And they sing